Welcome back to The Lead. Metro rail services are expected to resume in level 3 of the lockdown. The finer details, though, are expected to be revealed by the Transport Minister tomorrow. But the Passenger Rail Agency says it's getting ready to transport passengers in phases. As you'll know, these trains are often overcrowded and people are bound to rely on Metro Rail to get to the office. Up to 8 million people expected to return to work from Monday. Kaya Kumalo following the story for us. He joins us live in studio. So Kaya, what is Prasa saying about its readiness for level 3?
Well, undoubtedly, Shahan, they do know that they do have a very big job at hand. So they say quite a lot of things have been done already, sanitizing their facilities, the coaches, but also more importantly now the Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula, will be announcing in terms of the time, how it's going to work in terms of the arrangements, but also more importantly, they are saying safety is going to be a primary issue to make sure that the commuters are able to make use of their facilities without any concerns. So let's take a listen to the administrator's assurance.
We're at different levels of readiness, and a lot of that relates to the fact that you would note that in most cases our trains would be overloaded, and the last thing you need is overloaded trains that then become the transmitter and transporter of the pandemic. So we are careful in our planning to ensure that the measures that are put in place, that have been announced, that we put in place. So in some of our stations, we've begun markings at platforms as well as the stations, so as to delineate the social distance of about 1 meter. We've also marked our train sets in getting ready. We've also ensured that we procure the necessary equipment, but not all of it has been procured. So we're at various stages of readiness, and we're in communication with the department.
All right, Kai, so let's talk about Prasa's failed management of funds, because they've been in the news for all the wrong reasons when it comes to this. But there are appointments, and hopefully there'll be a turnaround strategy that will see Prasa come out of this.
That's right. So they've had successive failures in this regard. In fact, the Transport Minister calls them a broken institution. So now the administrator has a very enormous task of trying to rebuild this very key entity, because obviously it does have a very critical role to play in terms of ferrying commuters. So it's an extremely important entity. But also more importantly, so they've made significant appointments, permanent appointments, something unheard of at Prasa, because for the longest time they've had acting positions, but also have seen the board dissolved. So this is a very important phase in their part of making sure that they are reconstructing themselves, making sure that they are on track. So very key appointments. One very important appointment includes that of the chief officer for the rail agency. It's a lady. She has been running the Gautrain as well. So this is absolutely incredible. So, but she does have a very enormous task of making sure that getting this particular institution on track.
All right, and let's take a listen to that appointment.
These appointments are very key. As you've indicated, Prasa we've described it as a broken organization, and this has happened over a couple of years. And I just want to state that a broken organization, an organization of this size, cannot achieve what it sets out to achieve with positions that are vacant at leadership level, key positions. And we've sought to fill these positions. I think a lot of the stakeholders, upon my arrival, have been quite vocal about the absence of good leaders or managers at that level, and it's one of the things that we set out to do. So how key are these positions? They're very important, because the one is Prasa Rail, which is really the heart of the operation. Ultimately, we are about transporting commuters, and Prasa Rail, is the one that has to ensure that that happens efficiently, safe, and reliable.
Well, let's hope they actually get out of that mess.
Well, we can only hope, Shahan.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Kyle.